I ain't even gonna lie, this is probably top 10 games I've ever played. Zenonia 3 is a sequel to Zenonia 2, a game released in 2010, and it was met with critical acclaim, with many deeming it a worthy successor to the amazing Zenonia, which was a game that opened possibilities to engaging storytelling on a mobile device. The original Zenonia got a 9 on IGN, calling it a game that blows away any other action RPGs on the App Store and one of the best games on the iPhone so far. So of course, it was a complete financial failure on the DS and PSP. Unlucky. Thankfully, it was successful enough on Android for them to continue publishing their Zenonia games on Android. After the recent announcement of Zenonia Chrono Break, and now that we know it's a remake of the last 4 Zenonia games, it's not hard to notice a trend. Most of the promo is Zenonia. After the overwhelming success of Zenonia 1 and 2 on mobile, Gameville were eager to release another mobile game, which is simply titled Zenonia 3. Zenonia 3 released on April 28, 2011 on the iOS and later on the Google Play Store on July 11, 2011. And I guess it was released on the Amazon App Store on April 1st, 2012, for all the 7 people that care. Zenonia 3 in some ways was a polarizing entry in the series, not because of the story or combat or any feature of the game actually, but because it costed $5 in addition to having in-app purchases, which a lot of people didn't like. So Gameville decided to make it free to download 2 years later. Irregardless, it did pretty well and brought the Zenonia game series from a cult status to an easily recognizable and established game series for mobile at the time, with an amazing plot never quite seen before for a mobile game, and in addition to the fact that you don't need previous knowledge to get the most out of the story, it becomes quite easy to understand why this game is considered a favorite among fans. The combat is pretty good, expounded upon the fast-paced combat in Zenonia 2. Combat was engaging, unlike other RPG games at the time on mobile devices. Back to Zenonia, the story is complex and multi-layered. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people don't know why they love certain things. But they instinctively understand that, this is a good game. The reason I'm praising this game so much is because it goes against all of my sensibilities in video games. I, as a person, hate anime shit so much. Zenonia 3 parallels Zenonia 1. The fact that Regret's dad died to protect him, right? And while in Zenonia 3, it happens again, except Regret's the one dying to protect his adopted child. So, it's a well thought out game. So yeah, let's start with the... So, Zenonia 3 can be best described as a Greek tragedy. It gets worse and worse for Chal as the game progresses.
Embarrassing!
Zenonia 3 is widely considered to have the best plot in the series. So, it starts with a kid named Chal, and he's being bullied for being a bit strange.
Well, children can be cruel.
Until he meets this girl, Frey. And Frey tells him, stop crying, stop being a fucking wimp. And she encourages him to train, which he does take on. After multiple years of training, he decides to get some flowers for his good friend, Frey. So Chal gets teleported through space and time, I think, into Midgard. Now in Norse mythology, Midgard means Earth. This is why Chal most likely teleported to space and time. That's a theory.
Humiliation.
And he also explains how Selene was able to wait for 1,000 years. But then again, they also divine tribals recognize this Earth as a separate entity, so it could be not true. Now moving on, after exploration of Midgard, the Akun Temple to be more specific, He discovers a girl who he thinks is free get captured by unique monsters. And he tries to rush in to save the girl, and it turns out it was another girl named Celine, but she has wings. So Celine offers to help Child return to home as appreciation for saving her, and escorts Child as a guide to Paramount Temple without the permission of the priest, leading Lucifer to think she got kidnapped again. Right. So the bridge connecting the places, between Paramount Temple and the Laurel River collapsed, and they land at Lake Lille. Child loses his necklace to a Mara tribe member, Rick. I can't believe he said that. After doing him like a favor, he connects them to the chief of the Mara tribe, and because the chief is also a fucking asshole, they're forced to help the Mara tribe with a problem in which their animals, their livestock, are turned into unique monsters for some strange reason. So after Chow puts an end to the king of the unique monster, it turns out that Celine could just zap him away, but she wasn't sure. But so Chow wasted his time. But at least they discovered that Celine can do that. I guess they discovered what Celine's power is, and as they were talking to the chief of the Mara tribe, and it becomes like evidence to Chow at least that Celine was not telling him the whole truth, right? So they put him to sleep. Mostly, and they make a quick stop at Celine's old man's house and discover unique monsters over there. So Chow, quickly helps them out and leaves for Paramount Temple. Afterwards, they finally reach, Paramount Temple to meet Pontifex Temir, the biggest asshole in the game.
Hey, here, come get me.
And as Celine was explaining the situation to Temir, Lucifer barges in and interrupts the explanation, and manages to successfully convince the Pontifex that Child is actually a member of the Degenerator tribe, and he's just lying. So he gets put in prison and gets separated from Celine. Upon waking up, Child helps Guir escape from cell. Tyra returns to the Paramount Temple and leaves his necklace with Seru, and they go to the town of the Tarnished. Now Seru is Celine's brother. So Child helps the Tarnished tribe to cover their lost soldier that were kidnapped by the Devil tribe, and upon freeing the slave workers, Runa hears some weeping that Child is unable to hear. As they go to investigate it, Nagir confirms that it is a real thing, and someone is actually in trouble, and I think this fully convinces Child to try and help the voice. They beat the Karzagol, and the blue gem on his forehead turns out to be the voice, which is like a stone, which is also like a fairy converted to a stone eye. Tara returns to the shaman only to find her that she's not home. When they encounter the crystal ball, it showed that Tariq and Temir were kidnapping Celine. So they rush to Seru, and Seru confirms that it is true. Lucifer also rushes to Seru, but Lucifer doesn't believe that it's true. So the shaman Liwo confirms that Celine is at Nifort Castle, and they rush to save Celine. And when they encounter Lucifer, who doesn't believe Child displays of Lucifer pretty easily and moves on deeper into the castle. And they encounter Pluto and Plopin or whatever his name is, and that's not too important. Now this is kind of the important part. So the game splits into two parts: the normal ending where Child kills Temir and Lucifer, and the hard mode ending where Child doesn't finish Temir off, and Lucifer discovers that spoiler person is actually a spoiler thing. But in both endings, Child finishes off Antoine and Tariq, and in both endings, spoiler person does die.
LOL, white America, assassinate my character.
I think I'll start this off with my favorite character in the game, which is Celine. Celine is a character introduced at the very beginning of the game, and she's properly introduced as the first character you meet as soon as you enter Midgard as like a fairy lookalike. Now Celine is a young girl thrusted into the role of a shaman, and with the whole weight of the divine tribe on her shoulders. Now she's seen as many as their last hope because she's the only one who could perform arts that was lost upon the divine tribe arrival in Midgard. And she's acutely aware of that, so she does try and make it work, especially for the sake of her little brother. When she met Child, she saw it as as an opportunity to safely escape like the responsibility for just like a moment, right? Just like most kids would do in that situation, right? Now, I thought her character was done really well. That's why she's my favorite. And it's a little heartbreaking too when she starts to open up to you about her troubles, her parents, her relatives, her past, how she was left on the streets and no one cared about them until they discovered she had the power.
I had a younger brother when we were thrown onto the streets. Nobody cared about us. They were too busy living their own lives.
And looking at her interactions with Child, in the chapel or church, she's very formal and businesslike because she's grown to the role, But when they're outside, and when she's talking to Child as like a friend, informally, she doesn't really know how to talk to him. And I could go on a lot about her, but I'll try and keep this brief. I'll say this. Even when you meet Celine, right? She doesn't introduce herself as a shaman. And I think it shows that she really doesn't quite see herself as this savior of the divine tribe. Despite her popularity, she describes herself as a member of the divine tribe. Simply that. And honestly, I'm surprised about the amount of depth in this character. I think this is a textbook example of an amazing character, and I'm really shocked that only 6 people made this game. Nagir was supposedly touted as the future savior of the divine tribe. He is another great character. I love how they don't outright tell you his story, and he doesn't talk about his story at all. He just helps you. And if you want to learn more about Nagir, there are a chain of side quests that you have to follow, and they have to be completed for you to understand it, and it's very missable. So it's very satisfying at the end just learning more about him, more than any other character, just because of how much of an enigma he is. Also, Nagir just seems chill as fuck. Like, bro understands. He sees the vision for real. Luxor is the second in command for the Divine Tribe and also the son of Pontifex Temir. And man, I wish the absolute worst for this person. Great character. Like, a lot of people don't understand this, but when you hate a character that's meant to be hated, then the writer succeeded. And they succeeded with Luxfer. Like, look at Rachel from Tower of God. People hate the shit out of her. And unironically, she's the best written character in the show. Now, Luxor's actions seem illogical, because you don't quite know, initially why Celine is so important, because she tell you that she's a shaman. So he's being an ass to you because you're getting too close to Celine, their potential savior. He's also being overprotected because he lost his little brother, which is revealed way later. So, I get why he's an ass. But damn, he leaves such a bad first impression. I wanted all the smoke since Boy. It's hard seeing the perspective of someone else, especially if someone else is against you, right? And there's a whole fetch quest with which he was just being petty. And I love Luxfer in the normal ending because he's just such a confused character. He's so consumed by the hatred that he throws away everything he has just to have a better chance at killing you. Just think about it. If Luxfer did win that battle with Child in the second battle, normal mode, what would he even gain? What next for him? The answer is nothing, and I guess it's just a cautionary tale on why you shouldn't let anger consume you.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
The name Leo means master of their own destiny, which is ironic to say the least, since he was very insistent on Child not being in control of his own destiny. She was the leader of the Divine Tribe before Pontifex Temir came to power, and what do I have to say about her? She's a bitch. We might never return to the heavenly realm, headass. Pontifex Temir has to be the worst character in this game. I don't know why no one talks about that, but he's hyped up as at the beginning as this untouchable person, but as the game progresses, he just looks more and more like a dumbass. You know, maybe it's on purpose, maybe the game really like that. But yeah, I just don't like him. You know, when Charles said he would never see him as his father, I'm not gonna lie, I was smoking on that pot. And when they found out that Charles was actually his son, Lucifer felt guilty about it, and he has like the audacity to say, no real reason to feel guilt. It was destiny. Like, okay, I can't believe I almost killed my bro. Nah, you good, bro. It was fate. There's no way. Like, there's no way. There's no way this is an actual character. Even Regret calls him out too. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're so irresponsible, bruh.
Well, let's be nice. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good lord.
Runa is a furry companion for Zenonia 3. She has been with Chao since birth, and Runa as well.
This is the town of Delphoy. It was named after the temple in the Heavenly Realm.
They should have designed it like the Heavenly Realm as well. There's nothing heavenly about this place.
You little sarcastic brat. I'll slash your little wings and make you crawl for eternity.
Looks fair. Chael and Runa, please come inside.
Hello.
Hey, Pawnee Temmie.
Ponty Temmie? Celine, how could you bring a degenerated tribe in here? And who is that rude fairy?
How dare you call me rude?
Quiet! Guards, remove them from my sight immediately!
What about Frey? She'll be waiting for you back home.
Frey.
You have treasured memories there. We must return, and I want those apple pies.
She's a shit talker, and I respect her. Like, she's also the only one who can cheer Chao up, so she's a great companion. And the chemistry between Runa and Chao is probably the best chemistry in the series, you know, between a human and a fairy. This is true because, you know, they knew each other way before the game starts you off. Like in 1, 2, and 5, and even 4, kinda, the fairies meet the protagonist for the first time, which makes like the interactions between Runa and Chao more personal, because these are people that have grown around each other. Tarek is good. I don't have anything much to say here. He's a good villain. He's intimidating, he's entertaining, he's cunning. He can go blow for blow with Tamir. You know, the game presents Tamir as the strongest member of the Divine Tribe if you exclude Chao from that list. So I know I like him. Because I don't have much to say about him doesn't mean I don't like him. I do really like Tariq. But I mean, Shaturu definitely is a better villain. Frey, I haven't seen enough of her. I'm sorry, she was gone for 95% of the game. You expect me to give an opinion on her? I don't think so. Okay, I'm just joking, obviously. Frey is the first character introduced in the game that treats Chao normally and acts as some kind of protector from like the bullies of his town. Haha, Gameville, yeah, I get the parallels of she protects Chao, now Chao must protect her. Yeah, I see you. So yeah, I think, you know, we all know Frey's Celine, I guess. She was really helpful to Chao. She knew exactly what to say. She wasn't shy either. So the reason I, you know, put Frey in like a different category, because Frey is just a completely different character to Celine, honestly. Frey is, like, I mean, yeah, I'll consider her like an evolution of Celine, obviously. But she's not this pushover person. You know?
You are my son. No matter what anyone else says, you are my son.
Describing Regret's character in Zenonia 3 concisely is kind of challenging. Regret assumes the role of Chao's father in the game, and witnessing his growth and maturity brings a satisfying sense of fulfillment, you know, despite limited screen time, and only mostly appearing in his flashbacks, Chao's flashbacks. Regret makes a significant impact still. The flashbacks he delivers to Chao where he professes, "You are my son," juxtaposed to Regret's confession that he's not Chao's true father, not gonna lie, brought me in tears. I think it's moments like these that really highlights Regret's continued remarkable impact on the story. Chao's the main character of the game, so you're gonna see him a lot. In Zenonia 3, Child's destiny, shaped by the Tree of Life, is to vanquish his brother Lucifer, with Child symbolically embodying Michael, and Lucifer representing Lucifer, loosely based from Christianity, and to put an end to the demon lord. It's really important that Child is likable, because, since he's the protagonist, because if he's not likable, then it can completely ruin the game. A lot of games have been ruined by unlikable protagonists when the game is fine in general. That's why a lot of games take the safe route and have silent protagonists. His goal, is very easy to connect to. He just wants to get back to his family. The feeling we've all had. Sometimes we just want to go back home. While Child is still like a kid, I know he does have his childish moments here and there. For the most part, Child behaves very mature, even more than Runa, who's actually, way older than him. And, this is good because the game doesn't come off as a kid's game. If Child was a bit childish, the game would have come off as this game for kids. But
you I laugh, and for you I cry. For you I live.
It's a Zenonia game, so I'm feeling a strong to light vibe on this one.
Come on in over here. Have a seat.
I am not here right now. I am not home. Leave a message after the life. Flatline tone.
Wow, this game is similar to Zelda. I do not give a fuck. Combat in this game is very similar to Zenonia 2's combat. The quick and responsive combat that makes hitting enemies really satisfying. Albeit it's a little bit more polished in this game. Special abilities no longer are limited to tiles. They have this area of effect instead, which is pretty good. Many video game journalists will tell you that this game is too hard and you can't beat it without Zen. I don't think that's true. It's definitely harder than Zenonia 1 and Zenonia 2, just because you don't have, or you can't spam like Origin of Lives. But I'll disagree that the game is too hard. A majority of the video game reviews of this game saying this game is kind of paid to win. Honestly, I find that laughable. Zenonia 3 is easily beatable if you know what the fuck you're doing. I mean, I beat it when I was like 9 years old, so...
Humiliation.
So let's say you're still stuck on Zenonia 3. Here's my guide. Completely for free. Sword Knights. Go 1 con, 2 STR, or you can go 3 STR. Never prioritize con, because that will really suck in the end game. Prioritize Revival, Holy Berserker, and most importantly, get Illusion. Now, this is also a no-brainer. Get Skilled Defense and Skilled Sword. Now, if you said Zenonia 4 was too hard, I'd 100% agree with that. That is true. The Slayer class especially fucking sucks. Oh, and if you're a pure con Slayer in Zenonia 4, how do I say this? Give up. Like, you're done.
Is this really the design you gave the main character of Zenonia 3, of your game? The main character of the game. That is the character design you chose to go with.
I was wrong. I apologize. What if you wanted to go back home, but the game said, yeah, I'm gonna start the plot holes. Now, a major plot hole I just found it weird that we don't see Regret confused on how Frey can talk to and interact with Runa. Yeah, like normal people aren't able to see fairies. That's why people think Regret talks himself. They think he's like. And I bring this up because it's Zenonia 4. A major reason why Child is so distrusting of Adas, which is Regret in disguise, is because he saw a fairy accompanying him. But I mean, maybe Regret knew, maybe he knew. I don't know, it's not really too clear. Just wish they expounded upon that. The pacing is absolutely ruined sometimes. because of how slow the characters walk. The dialogue can be pretty bad too. Like, come on, Regret. You did not kill Tiaras. You did not get him. Did you know that if you don't attack the Kakas, they won't attack you?
I've been feeling all these walls